it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great. Happy 2023. So for this video, as you may have already guessed by the title, I thought I would show you guys some of the books that I got for Christmas. I know these videos are very popular around kind of this time of year, and while I enjoy watching some of them myself, I thought that maybe I should add a little bit more of a my channel spin on it, and instead of just showing you everything I literally got for Christmas, I'm going to show you the books I got for Christmas to hopefully give you an idea. Maybe you want to read some of these, maybe you want to add them to your to-read list. I just think listening to other people talk about books is kind of fascinating, and I also always love getting suggestions for books to read. So these are the books that I got for Christmas and my suggestions to you for potentially what to read. Keep in mind though, I haven't actually read any of them, so I'll report back on if they're actually very good or not. Alright, let's go. Okay, so I'm going to be completely honest with you guys about this one. So this is Fable by Adrienne Young. I'm going to be completely honest. I know people don't judge a book by its cover, but the cover is originally what attracted me to this one. I mean, guys, come on. Like, it was just intriguing. And then, okay, so basically I read the little summary, which you could read pretty much on Goodreads or anywhere, but it says it's about Fable, the daughter of a powerful trader in this, sea. I think she lives in the sea. Yeah. And then she has to, try to... Gosh. I don't know how to exactly explain it. It's kind of like a Little Mermaid fantasy type vibe. You guys know I love a good fantasy, so I'm actually really excited to read this one. And then it kind of just says a bunch of stuff about romance, intrigue, adventure. So while I'm sure that was a very verbose description of the book, I obviously haven't read it, but I'm really, really, really excited to read this one because I really thought the description was interesting, and like I said, I love a good fantasy. Okay, so I'm actually really excited to read this one because I'm actually reading Little Women right now. So this is March by Geraldine Brooks. I think this was from my mom, which good choice because I'm quite interested. So it's about, if you've ever read Little Women, in the book, obviously a bunch of stuff happens more than just this, but they have a father. Duh. No. Anyway, they have a father in the book that goes off to war to fight for the Union Army. We don't really hear much about the father. He's kind of notably absent from most of the story because it mostly focuses on the four girls and kind of their mother a little bit. So anyway, this one is about the dad who, like I said, was kind of notably absent from the book, and it kind of talks about his story and adds his perspective to the tale. So I actually am really excited to read this one, especially like I said because I'm reading Little Women right now. So maybe I'll get to this when I finish it, but regardless, I mean, it's just short, sweet, and I'm a huge Little Women fan. You guys already know. I already have my other video on this channel where I literally talked about Little Women, the 2019 movie. And anyway, I'm excited to read it, and I will probably report back on if I finish it. But yeah, it's supposed to be very good, so I'm excited. Okay, so this one is a memoir. You can kind of see the cover right there. It's obviously by the woman that it's about, and it's supposed to be a really inspiring story. I think she was an immigrant, and she also obviously met with President Obama. Honestly, I don't really know too much about her story, but I mean, I'm a sucker for a good memoir, good life story. Becoming Michelle Obama was one of my favorite books I read in, God, when did I read that? 2021. So I am quite excited to read this one. I actually don't know too much about her, so I'm excited to learn, and I definitely think that it's going to be good, especially because it has a lot of good reviews, and I'm just excited because, like I said, I love a good memoir. Okay, so this one is a bit out of my normal reading demographic. It's a little bit more serious, a little bit more real life. I mean, you guys have seen some of them in fantasy, some of them in fiction so far. I think the memoir is the only other one that's kind of been not, I don't know how to describe it, but just a little bit more based in real life, based today, talking about actual profound issues. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but you know what I mean. This is one of the serious ones. I've had this on my Goodreads to read list for actually over a year now, so I'm really grateful. I think my sister got this one for me. Thanks. But no, so it's a letter from I think it's, yeah, from a son to a mother who can't read, and it's kind of about their family life. I think they are, it kind of talks about their family history, and I think the mom might be an immigrant. I know that some part of their family is from Vietnam, and it just kind of talks about their family's story, but then it kind of also I think applies it to America as a whole and all the issues that are going on today. It's kind of small. I mean, you guys can see it's not terribly long, but it's supposed to be really impactful, and I did quite like the description of it. And like I said, I've had this on my Goodreads to read list for like a really long time. So I'm super grateful to finally have this one, and I'm really excited to read it. It's definitely, like I said, a little bit out of the ordinary for like what I usually read. I mean, you guys know from my bookshelf tour, it's like mostly fantasy and fiction and stuff. So even though this is still, I'm pretty sure, realistic fiction, I'm very excited. My dog's here. She wants to see the books. Hey, babes. Oh. Okay. So sticking with the theme of kind of how I said I'm a huge fantasy nerd, like huge fantasy fan, we've got Caraval. And I've really wanted to read this one for a really long time as well. I'm super excited about this. Okay, so basically it's about like, I believe like this performance, and I think it's set in a fantasy world, and like they have this once a year performance, and I think it, like the inciting incident is that like, gosh, I kind of forget, because this has also been on my Goodreads to read list for a really long time, but I think like this girl's sister gets kidnapped by the people that put on the show, and then it's like kind of goes into the background of this like elaborate performance, and I think, oh yeah, it says here, and she must find out like if it's real or not, and she has to also find her sister like before she disappears forever. Like it's basically just like gosh, how do I don't think I'm describing this very well. Please, I really urge you to look up the summaries of these books on your own. I'm kind of just talking nonsense over here. But, yeah, I'm just really excited to read this one. You guys know I'm a huge fantasy fan. I live for a good sister bond, a good family bond. So that's kind of why I picked this one out. And, I mean, it's a pretty good book. From what I've heard from the reviews, I say that as if I've read it. I haven't, but I am really excited, and I'm really grateful to have this one, so I will also likely report back on it when I read it. Very excited about this one. Okay, so I've been saying this for everyone, but this is really one that has been one that I've wanted to read for a really long time, and it's not that the other ones haven't, but again, this is a book club potential one. I think this is going to be our book club book 1 month, and oh gosh, I mean, I've just heard such good things about it. My grandma actually got this one for me. It's a special edition, which, thank you, I love you. And basically it's about this woman that gets like forgotten by everyone she meets, which is such an interesting premise. I think it's so cool, and it's like all about her life and her adventures, but then of course there is a catch, as there always is in books like this. She meets someone who remembers her. So I just think the premise is so intriguing. What a good like elevator pitch for a book. So genius. And I'm really actually excited to read this one. It's not that I'm not more than anything else, but I have had this one on my list for a really long time. And like I said, I think the premise is so catchy and so interesting. So I'm super excited, and I'm super grateful to have this one as well. Alright, well without further ado, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you tuning in. I hope you have a great 2023, and I hope maybe I helped you come up with some new books, book ideas, things to read. If not, just thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!